Princess Elizabeth rides out to review her regiment in the famed Trooping of the Colors as tradition-loving Britain faces grave economic problems both at home and abroad. Taking a goodwill tour to cement Anglo-American relations, Princess Elizabeth is met at the Washington airport by America's first family. Britain's future queen is greeted in turn by the President, Mrs. Truman, and daughter Margaret. During her brief stay in the capital, she endears herself to the milling crowds by her easy and informal manner, while Philip equally impresses the feminine population, a couple that America takes to its heart. Trafalgar Square on election night. Early returns show the Labor Party, headed by Clement Attlee, leading. But as returns come in from the provinces, the Conservative vote mounts, and Winston Churchill is once more returned to power. Handicapped by a slim majority in Parliament, it's a tough road ahead for winning. The Middle East becomes a troubled spot as Iranian oil facilities operated by the British are seized by the Iranian government in its nationalization program. Anti-British demonstrations are held as negotiations between Iran and Britain end in failure. British cruisers are ordered to the port of Abadan, while W. Averill Harriman, U.S. envoy at large, arrives in Tehran to arbitrate the explosive oil crisis. His talks with Prime Minister Mossadegh are unsuccessful and bring forth more demonstrations. The rioting requires strenuous effort on the part of the mounted police before it is quelled. With the British taking their case to the UN, Mr. Mossadegh attends a Security Council meeting to defend his government's seizure. The big question becomes, will Iranian oil flow east or west? The worst floods in the Midwest's recorded history tear a path of devastation through Kansas and Missouri. Almost 1 million acres of land are inundated by the rising waters of the Kaw, the Blue, and the Missouri rivers, and 750,000 persons are made either homeless or displaced by the swirling currents. It is estimated that property damage will reach $1 billion or more. Hardest hit is Kansas City, Missouri, with virtually its entire industrial section underwater in one of the nation's cruelest blows of modern times. A 100-mile stock car race at Langhorne, Pennsylvania, turns into a nightmare come alive. Blinded by the smoke, many of the drivers seem helpless to avoid the piled-up wrecks in front of them. Ten drivers were hurt, too seriously, in what will long remain stock car racing's most spectacular crack-up. New York's federal building, alleged overlord of gambling, Frank Costello, arrives to face the senatorial gambling probe. Frank Erickson, convicted bookmaker, is also on hand as the spotlight falls on former Mayor O'Dwyer versus Senator Toby.
And the story that is circulated down here is that you called up from the long-distance telephone to get their help and that you got money.
Well, it's not true. I never called anybody from New York for contribution to my campaign.
Well, I'm under oath and you're not, sir.
Well, I'll take the oath right now. If you'll give it, Mr. Chairman. I hate a four-flusher.
Senator Toby now turns the heat on Costello.
Has this country come up to your anticipations? You must have in your mind some things you've done that you can speak of to your credit as an American citizen. If so, what are they?
Paid by tax. Mr. Halley questions Virginia Hill.
Do ever get any money from Costello?
No.
And did you ever get any money from Meyer Lansky?
I never got money from any of those fellas.
None of those
None
fellas?
of those fellas. None of these that I've been reading about, and none that I knew, they never gave me anything.
None of the Shetties?
No. I don't even speak to her. I mean, I met that Charlie once or twice. I don't even talk to him.
You don't like him?
No.
Erickson is asked a personal question.
What is your business? We can't hear you, Mr.
I'm in jail.
San Francisco holds an historic meeting.
Today we meet here again to take another step along the road to peace. On this occasion, it is our purpose to conclude a treaty of peace with a country we were fighting in 1945.
With the Soviet bloc abstaining, 48 nations signed the treaty. Lester Pearson for Canada. Foreign Prime Minister Robert Schuman for France. Foreign Minister Morrison for England. And United States Secretary of State Dean Acheson. 6 years after its surrender, Japan regains sovereignty as Premier Yoshida signs the treaty. North Korean and Chinese officers head for another meeting in the Korean truce talks. The attempt to establish a ceasefire has run into continual delays from bickering, misunderstandings, and the Asian problem of saving face. And as the talks get colder, the battle gets hotter. Continually pressing forward, UN forces have pushed north of the 38th parallel, have overrun the Red Iron Triangle, and taken bloody Heartbreak Ridge. Helicopters come into their own in the hills of Korea as these versatile airships bring up supplies and soldiers right to the front line. Increasing resistance from Red troops makes every step northward a fighting one. Meanwhile, our B-29 bombers continue to pound the key enemy positions in round-the-clock raids while fighter strafing attacks stall communist supply lines. Until peace is finally achieved in Korea, the embattled Reds will remain on the receiving end of fireworks from the power of the United Nations team. Dramatic episode in the news parade of 1951.